And there it is. Done gone live. Remember to start the stream with my mic not muted this time. Bit of a disaster on the last stream, if you might have noticed that. But we got it right this time. Also go down the checklist. We got green tea. We got water. In case we get thirsty. We also have a fresh hot cup of coffee, as I've been known to have. Hope you're doing well today. It's been a pretty good day for me. And I just continuing on this Paladin grind. Trying to knock out a couple of things off of the to-do list here. So we're just going to keep right on rolling. I think I definitely want to... It's pretty good. Low amounts though, man. What was I even thinking putting this stuff on the auction house for coppers? It was almost more valuable to just throw it in the... throw it out to a vendor. And I also want to make sure that I go over here and get fishing trained. I want to do some fishing, man, but like fishing in World of Warcraft is just as boring as fishing in real life. It's awful, man.
Hey there.
It's really not good, but at least in the game it has some kind of value.
Have a good one.
I guess in real life it would have value if you, you know, needed to fish for food. But I don't. I'll probably go ahead and buy this recipe. We'll get a fishing pole and... not really worried about the bobble. Let's see, can't train that, so we'll do this. Let's see, and I guess I need to go by somewhere and do a little bit of selling here as well. Try to empty out my bags. The good news is, I'm going to turn off this thing on Questy 2. I don't really need the fishing trainer anymore. Just wanted to make sure I could find it. One of the quests that I'm going to be working on here is, ooze. Why am I going the long way? Playing Ring Around the Rosie. I guess I can just sell right here. Probably repair as well, but I could have ran straight across. I decided to go around, so that's great.
Talk to me.
We'll repair. Some selling. Boar intestines. I kind of feel like I want to hang on to like the cooking stuff because I want to be able to sell it at some point. Or, I'm sorry, I'd rather be able to cook with it to level cooking. So I'm hanging on to it, but it might be a little bit of a pack rat mentality, which wouldn't necessarily be the best. Definitely do not want to be a pack rat. And I've actually got room for one more quest, In Search of the Excavation Team. So I need to kill crocolisks and murlocs and oozes, but I think, I can't remember if it's like with one of the later updates, but there's like quests up here as well, I think. Once you start killing murlocs, there's other quests to get, so I want to make sure that I have room to be able to accept those. So much of the information that I feel like I'm operating on is based on like newer versions of the game, like retail or changes that came with expansions. So, not 100% sure that there's going to be quests up there with the murlocs, but I think I remember something about like some kind of a statue or killing a named murloc, something like that. See how it goes. Hopefully we can find some crocodiles over here. So I actually started running the rune for Horn of Lordaeron, which I've actually really been liking because what I found is that, well, number one, I don't have the quest for the Divine Storm Room. Or I've got the quest, but I haven't completed it. So what I'm trying to say is I don't have the Divine Storm Rune. And so the Horn of Lordaeron goes on the chest. It's only a 2-minute buff, but it ends up being a decent amount of strength and agility, 17. Plus it allows me, in addition to that, to be able to run Blessing of Wisdom. So not as much attack power. There's just no crocodiles. Not as much attack power as if I was running Blessing of Might, but I can get the strength and agility. And then that still allows me to be able to Blessing of Wisdom to hopefully try to prevent having to drink. I like drinking in real life, not so much in the game. And as expected, there's already people up here farming. And the Season of Discovery has been so popular, it's like one of the things that's caused the leveling to be a little bit slow, I think. It's just because of the situation with respawns. I mean, there's just always so many people trying to do these quests. There's nothing left for anybody else. I gotta make sure I'm careful up here as well, because the mobs are going to be a couple levels higher. So I definitely don't want to pull more than one. Gotta watch my back as well. For guys like this walking around. And apparently the Murlocs like to run. Oh, baby. That's a great way to get started. With a nice little shoulder upgrade. Spirit, you know, not super great, but better than nothing, and definitely like the strength. Some of the Murlocs are level 25, that's not going to be good. String. So I think I want to try to back this guy out. Just because when he runs, I'm probably going to need a little bit of space to... Jeez. Well, I guess I probably should have paid more attention to my health. I thought I was going to get him low and that he would try to run. I guess in the end, I was the one that needed to run. I had lots of cooldowns there, too, to not be able to die. Divine Protection, Lay on Hands. I just wasn't paying attention to my health total. I feel like I'm still getting used to questing being non-trivial, and like individual mobs being non-trivial. Last time I played WoW, I was playing retail, and I was just, like, blowing through. Like, you never had to worry about dying while questing. Now, though, it seems to be an issue. So, I feel like... Yeah, so these Murlocs are lower. I was just going to say, I wonder if these are a little bit lower, so that's why people aren't up there fighting the higher level Murlocs. So I just need to stay down in, like, this area. Also, at least this one didn't try to run away, so that'll be a little bit better as well. Probably going to need to heal up and drink soon, though. Go ahead and do that. Gonna try to avoid drinking. It might be so long before I see another Murloc that I actually don't need to. Gonna be looking to fight level 24s. Thanks for the buff. And I'm not seeing any other quests up here, so either they're farther up, or they come after this turn-in, or I'm just remembering like a different version of the game. And we're going to still need 10 more Murlocs after this. Season of Discovery is like the respawn waiting simulator. Any clam meat. I definitely like being able to run Wisdom. I don't like how short of a duration the Horn of Lordaeron is. The other interesting thing about it is I could actually see running Horn of Lordaeron on a regular basis. I feel like everybody wants to default to Divine Storm. It would be nice to have an extra button to click as far as the DPS rotation. And you probably want to use it in a lot of cases in dungeons, but when you start thinking about like raids and whatnot, being able to bring an additional buff to the party is pretty good. Like the strength and agility, it might be wanted more than just the straight attack power buff from the Blessing of Might. Plus it's going to be like a lot easier because it affects the entire party. But I guess it's only the party, so if you were in a raid, you wouldn't be able to affect other parties with it. So maybe it actually is just Divine Storm all the time. Bruh. There's so many people up here. There's an undead. It's a dwarf rogue. I should probably start inviting. Oh. Almost forgot about that. You have to actually equip the fishing pole. So again, that's just like another difference that I wasn't remembering. Because in retail, I don't think you have to have the fishing pole equipped anymore. And I'm gonna need to get... This is what I thought I was doing. Oh, wow. So I actually can't even fish here. I think I'm gonna have to go... Maybe in, like, just in Darnassus or some lower ground. I thought you could actually fish anywhere, but you just wouldn't catch anything and still be able to level up. So again, way off. Alright, let's just start inviting people and see if we can, get a group together and get some progress going here. I don't understand why more people don't do this. I feel like there's been so many situations I've been in where there's a bunch of solos working on a quest and it's just a straight kill quest. It's just universally helpful for people to group together, and they just don't do it. Like, an MMO is a social game. But people won't actually group together to be able to do the content. Woo! Alright, so now we're making some progress on the quest. Dude, some of the people are up here just grinding Murlocs, they don't even have a quest. Oh well. It's not like it matters. I don't know why they would join the group then if they're just like farming for stuff or whatever. Drops.
Isn't ready yet.
Yeah, some of these guys are just like straight farming. I'm not sure that they're questing. I don't know why you'd be up here killing Murlocs at level 25. Must be some reason. But I feel like if I were level 25, there would be other things that I'd rather be doing with my time than just killing Murlocs. But that's one of those things where I feel like the Season of Discovery probably has a limited shelf life. Like, once you get to level 25, how many alts do you really want to have, and things like that. So it's kind of like, you put a certain amount of time into it, you get a little bit of gear, maybe not even best in slots. Because at the end of the day, you're still only level 25, and then you're basically just waiting for the next phase. Alright. Thanks for the group. So that made it a lot faster. Got a turn in there. I still need young crocolisks. I'm not totally sure where those are going to be found, to be honest. According to my questy over here, they should be like right through here, but I'm not seeing anything. And I'm not seeing corpses, so it feels like it's not even like somebody else came through and cleared them all. It's like they're just not here. Maybe out in the water? One. Alright, Croc, I'm gonna need you to cough it up. That's gonna be at least one skin. Get the big boy hit. Nice. The issue there is we got another kind of meat that I'm not going to want to sell. My bags are eventually going to be full of like meat that I can't even cook. It's really inconvenient to go to a bag too. It's kind of inconvenient to go anywhere. But like the bank is small, it's far away. Alright, 100% drop rate on croc skins. Negative. Kill this guy for fun. I feel like I might actually want to be judging Crusader here. Maybe not. These guys aren't really living long enough to really benefit from it. We'll go ahead and top off, though. No intellect buff from that skunk of a mage. Alright, I pulled two. I should be fine to fight two here. But I definitely want to make sure that I tag the second one because I don't want somebody running up and actually basically taking it from me. And I should probably not chance it and go ahead and get off the heal here. And the problem is when you're in a fight and you have to heal, you basically have to drink as well. Nice. Get off a heal and then drink. Downtime from drinking is just tough, man. I really don't like it. It's only a few seconds, but it feels like it breaks the flow of the gameplay to have to do that. Oh. Don't do it. You're too young. Dampen magic. I was looking to see if he had some kind of like underwater breathing thing, but that's a negative. I think there's some kind of, it might be an alchemy thing. Like a potion that allows you to breathe underwater, and then the warlocks have a buff, I think. And then of course druids with the... There was something in there, but it looked like it was level 24. Maybe I can find some respawns down through this way. Well, bad news, the coffee's already gone. Should probably be using a better cup, man. The coffee just gets cold so fast. Blocks. I need crocs, man. Where them crocodiles at? I just need one homie that drops the item that I need, the skin. And then I guess... What is this? Oh, there's supposed to be more, like, down the line. I guess I can head down that way. Because at some point I'm going to have to run back anyway to be able to do the turn-ins. Oh. So I do have to kill the named... I do have to kill the named Murloc. I didn't even see a corpse for a named Murloc last time I was up here, though. Thought I was done with this quest. These him. I've noticed too that Questy is sometimes wrong about the spawns of this stuff. I'd like to at least be able to find the corpse just so that I know I'm in the right place. Murloc. I also thought that he was like farther back. See him there. That's a Murloc. I need Gobbler. Alright, so this is where we make a macro. Target Gobbler. Save. Drop this down here. BBLER. Should be good. And I guess I might as well just use my time and farm some Murlocs like everybody else. Buff. And again, I let the horn fall off. And there's so many people that are up here grinding, it almost feels like there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to actually get the quest mob. Like, I'm going to have to get really lucky, because it'll spawn and people will attack it just like... Oh, there he is. So it looks like Questy was right. He can appear over here. Rip Bozo. Man, I should have stayed in that group. I didn't realize that this was on that quest. When I read the quest, I thought it just said kill Murlocs, 12 of them. Let's see. Falls from the deep. Yeah, it was the same quest. It's not paying attention to the questing. Uh-oh. Somebody's regretting their choices. I think some of the classes really need the, really need this rep. Azeroth Commerce. I've been kind of loosely doing it. Just as I can. Without putting a real focus on it. But some of the classes really need the runes that come from it. If Gobbler ever spawns before his corpse despawns. also kind of wonder... I don't know. I specifically wanted to play a Paladin because I wanted to play Ret and Classic with the different rune combinations. Sometimes I wonder if I'd be better off in a prot spec, like a tanking spec. But the thing is, like, even if I would be better off, still not sure that I would actually want to do it, because I really don't like the idea of changing the way I'm playing and what I want to do to accommodate the other people around me. Like, I want to do what I want to do. And once you start changing, like, you know, it'll be easier to find a group as a tank, or easier to level as a different spec. I think you put yourself on going down a path where you're just not going to be enjoying the game anymore. Should probably go over and check this other spawn location just in case. But again, I still feel like I'm going to have to get lucky to be able to get this mob. And there's like no good place where you can go and actually quest where there's not going to be other people competing for the same quest mobs. And I guess that's because everybody's condensed down to a level 25 cap. Let's see, I better keep a seal up at all times. Thing is, like, these guys are going to outrange me if they're waiting for a gobbler like I am. Plus, if he spawns over there, I'm just going to miss the respawn. So I've kind of got my eggs all in one basket here. But I could actually even be closest to the mob and still not tag it because their stuff has a longer range than mine. It's a really long respawn timer.
I can't count that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Just spamming a targeting macro.
I can't count that yet. I need to get closer.
And this would actually be a good time for him to spawn. But where?
It's too far away.
I don't know where he is. Spotted. Now I have to actually get there before somebody else tags him. And I'm bringing one.
I'm out of range. That's still
Alright, now I have to actually be able to kill him and not die.
isn't ready yet. I can't count that yet. That spell.
Dude, this is kind of like not looking good.
It's still recharging.
I'm almost out of mana. I can still lay on hands, and I guess I've got healing potions. But to a certain extent, I don't really have a way to deal damage. But we get there. A little bit of a close call.
Isn't ready yet. technology. I can't cast that.
Sure, we respawned with buffs. Alright, so I want to get out of here and then probably drink. Move on down the line. What was this green? +7 fire damage. We'll add that to our stuff to sell. Oh, I still need a crocodile skin. And then I guess we're just going down this way. Maybe I should actually go and turn in and sell. My bags are so full. Like, I'm just going to run out of space in my bags. It's the, I feel like, I don't want to say #1 problem. That's definitely one of the things that I'm up against. But at least with this bag, I can get 4 more slots, so the problem gets a little bit better. I could even just destroy stuff out of the bag. Because, like, this doesn't really sell for all that much, but I'm in such, like, a penny-pinching mode because I'm going to have to buy training at level 24. And then, like, I've got the rep for the Ashen Veil mount. But the mount is, like, 10 gold. So I still want to buy that, and then I'm sure there's lots of other stuff I'm going to need gold for as well. So I'm kind of in this weird, like, penny-pinching mode. So I end up wasting time running all over creation, trying to make sure that I don't lose a single copper. It's actually getting a little bit too close to real life. I play games to forget the troubles of real life, like needing money. Old habits die hard, though, man. You spend your entire life building up these cheap habits, you know. It doesn't stop just because you log into a video game. But I guess at least I can turn in while I'm here as well. So it's not all bad. Oh, and I guess I may as well repair while I'm here as well, too.
No.
And I'm going to stop pack ratting the cooking mats as well. Food just for the... I will save the clam meat, though, and I'll save the wolf flanks. That's my turn in.
See you soon.
I will save the clam meat. And then, while I'm thinking about it and before I forget, we're going to go ahead and eat some of these boiled clams here as well. Just to get the buff. The buffs are so small, it's almost comical. 4 stamina. And it only lasts for 15 minutes. Playing a Paladin is like a buff simulator. You got 5-minute buffs. If you're running the Horn of Lordaeron like I am currently, it's a 2-minute buff. All these buffs fall off and you don't even realize it.
Be careful. Light bless you.
Search the crates and barrels. I could actually use the healing potions. I almost forgot about the holiday. I've got 2 healing potions and I've got the 1 lesser. Should probably just go ahead and sell this. And this. I'm not going to ever use this. Walking around with flowers.
Great to meet you.
So we'll get rid of those. Slide some stuff down. That's actually a better buff food for when I actually need buff food. Quest items. Boiled clams there. That's going to be my version of, like, straightening up my bags. Which I guess it doesn't matter. Down here is kind of the stuff that... Now, that could be useful. That's not limited to just PvP either. That just looks like a straight buff for 2 hours. So I'll hang on to that. I'm going to try to sell this and this guy. And then this Libram, yeah, level 24, because I have to get turned undead. But this fish liver oil increase attack speed. I'm kind of saving that stuff for I guess, like BFD. I don't know if there's anything better or if you even need that stuff. I keep thinking to myself, like, turning an instance into a raid has to be like a joke. Joke tier content. Because how hard can it actually be? This is a turn in right here. We're getting close to 23 though. We'll be at, should be getting to max level before too much longer if that's the case. Wonder if this actually finishes the quest. Oh, it does. This is the one I was thinking of, search for the statue. And the statue is up here, but I think if I go too much farther, I'm going to get into the area with the higher level murlocs, which I kind of don't want to go to. It just becomes too likely that I die. This guy's just up here grinding murlocs. Yeah, I think that is going to push me up into the higher level murlocs. It does, but they're all dead because the guy that's grinding up here. Miner boots, nothing great here. That staff is interesting though. I feel like I think I read that the best mage spec by far is fire. So even if you were playing a mage, you might not necessarily want the staff that has frost damage. Also, I'm sure there's like better weapons. But again, I feel like with a cap of level 25, and you know, this is not like hard content, and classic really isn't hard content in comparison. So as long as you could find like a guild or a raid group that didn't necessarily want to min-max, you could probably just play whatever you wanted to and be perfectly fine. You just have to find other people willing to go along with that. Still need crocolisks. I don't see any though. Right offhand. Should be some more down here, but if there's not, I can always hit it on the way back. Probably should have set my Hearthstone to Minithil. I'm farming Dark Iron for rune. I wonder what rune that is. Rogue? Those are like elites, I think. Or at least level 28s or 30s. I want to say they're like up in here. I'm going to have to find a group. I went over to check and see if I would actually be able to farm the Divine Storm stuff. And the mobs are all like level 28, 29, 30. And I can't actually hit them. Nice. I can't actually land a hit, so I think I'm going to have to get to 25 and then find a group. And even then it's going to be a little bit challenging. Maybe I can find like a bunch of other paladins or warlocks that need that same item. Or maybe I can get like a group of people from the guild to help me out with it. I guess I find it... I can understand that they wanted like group content with some of the new stuff they added to Season of Discovery. Like, it kind of makes sense. You have these runes, they're powerful skills and stuff that your character can get. So I understand that they maybe want that to be group content, but I kind of find it strange that they want to put it on what you need on mobs whose levels are so much higher than the max level. It's like, you know, dungeon bosses are usually max level +2, raid bosses max level +3, but you're out here having to grind like level 29s and 30s for quest items. That's what it actually comes down to. So that seems a little bit strange to me, but I guess it is what it is. Ashenvale PvP starting soon. Man, the server that I'm on, I'm playing on Crusader Strike. And, like, the PvP is a joke. There is no horde. Like, you're basically just in Ashenvale killing NPCs, and that's it. Like, I've never seen a horde. I've done it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I don't have a single honor kill. I've never seen horde players up there participating. And from what I've seen in, like, chat when I've been in Ashenvale, all the horde want to move to the same layer, so they go to, like, I think they said they all go to layer 1. So there'll be, like, one layer where the horde try to group up just to be able to win. Which really, to me, highlights the issues of having, like, PvP servers, because there's no way to balance the population. And if you're on a PvP server and you end up on a faction that's outnumbered, like, even 2 to 1, but in some cases it could be like 10 to 1. Man, I should have had this the first time I went through. You're just going to end up in a really, really unfun situation. Like, you can't do the Ashenvale PvP, maybe you get ganked out in the open world, unable to quest because you keep running into people from the other faction. But to me, that's like a massive drawback for like PvP servers, which is like the reason why I rolled on a regular server, because I knew that there were, I think the most popular server is like an RP PvP server. I just had no desire to get involved in that. Plus, I don't really want to RP anyway. And for the people that do want to, you know, I mean, that's fine for them. That's not what I'm into. But I feel like me being there and not taking part in it would almost be potentially taking away from their experience. Look at this, man. These little guys right here are going to cause me to have a bad day. Oh, the gnolls are back down this way. So I got to go even farther back. Gooey spot. Ah, I got you. If these are low enough level, I can just go ahead and farm them. This quest is actually a Duskwood quest, I think. I don't want to run into the middle of a pack of these. I bet they deal a lot of damage if you're not paying attention. So I'll go down here, potentially spotters, depending on the level of the spotters, the gnolls, and then I can swing back up and hit the oozes. And then we'll be able to go back and turn in. I'm not sure if it's worth it to go back up here. Like, there may actually just not be enough quests to even want to go that way. And then again, I'm having to rebuff. It's been so long that I've just been running around out of combat. All my buffs fell off. This buff's gonna fall off. What was the... Yeah, so the recipe that I have is regular clam meat. And what I have here is tangy clam meat. That's a pretty decent build. Pretty auction house. I like finding greens, man. Like, my money instinct starts to kick in. But, I mean, that's another issue with the bags. Like, bag space is so limited. I'm carrying around this stuff that I want to put on the auction house. But the auction house is so far away, it's kind of a pain to get there. So basically, I guess I try to be efficient when I do things, and I'm sure it could be a lot better. But what I'm going to try to do, yeah, I'll farm these spiders then for the Duskwood quest. Hit level 24. I'm going to want to go to a capital city anyway to get class training. And then put stuff on the auction house, and hopefully bag space doesn't become too big of an issue. What's this? Oof. Definitely don't want this thing leeching damage. It'll take forever to kill. I mean, it kind of already takes forever. And I got screwed on the quest item. Come here, Leech Stalker. I'm gonna need you to cough it up. That's gonna be one, actually... Go ahead and drop me like 6 of these spider legs, man. You got 8 legs. Man? Was he like stealing mana too? It's like the saddest story ever told, man. It just really feels like it, I won't say ruins, but it definitely impacts my ability to have fun if I feel like I'm having to just stop and drink all the time. Like, I've got a bunch of linen. I think I've got linen that I just sold on the auction house because I thought, well, I can heal myself, you know, first aid is worthless. So I wasn't gonna train first aid. Sold a bunch of linen on the auction house, you know, again, just pinching pennies. And now I find that it might actually be useful. I just didn't think it'd be useful on a paladin. Ooh, there's oozes over here too, so this is actually like a pretty decent spot to come for the quest that I have. Also, I don't know. I'm thinking Purify might actually need to go like kind of in an easier to access location because I am going to be using it looks like. Let me just go ahead and refresh my buff. And we'll just regen mana while we're eating. But I might want to actually get it on here somewhere. Now I actually thought about the exorcism rune, which I haven't gotten yet. But I thought that it could potentially be better than the interrupt rune, because there's so many things that, like, the interrupt is not very useful. Like when I'm questing, it's pretty rare that I run into casters that need to be interrupted, or really anything that casts at all. So I thought, do I even need the interrupt? And then when you start thinking about like dungeons and raid groups, oh, here we go. Man, I think I hit the interrupt and the thing died before it would have cast it anyway. Yeah, it didn't even go off. But typically, so far, the interrupt hasn't really been all that good. It's almost like a waste of a rune slot. And I thought I could use Exorcism. It gives me an extra ability for the DPS rotation. Because as I've talked about, you know, kind of one of the things that I'm finding less enjoyable is that there's a lot of times where I'm auto-attacking. There's just nothing to do with the Paladin class. Because you're so limited on abilities to do damage. But the problem is it's so expensive. Like, I was in Duskwood and I was actually using it on the undead minions, and I felt like I was having to drink after every single mob. Alright, looks like we got some respawns that are starting to come in now. So I still need 4 gooey spider legs. And then a total of 25 gnolls. Alright. Swing over to the other side while we let the respawns come in over here. And I'm a long way from town. Rebuff. Alright, so here's a good interrupt. Oh, it didn't, I used the interrupt and it didn't actually interrupt the cast. It's like a not interruptible cast. What a great rune this is. Man, I'm glad I can cleanse that too, because this mess... Yeah, see, look, the interrupt lands, but it just doesn't do anything. And a 33% slow on your attacks is really bad, because, again, I just feel like I'm auto-attacking so much with this class. I don't understand why the interrupt doesn't work. I guess it's not a spell, it's like a physical ability, but that doesn't make sense. But again, we are on 20-year-old game design, I guess. That wouldn't have even made sense 20 years ago. Maybe it's a bug or something. Man, at times like that, I'm almost a little bit sad that I didn't roll a warrior. Just because it would be nice to be able to charge in. But you know, when I experimented with classes a little bit to try to find out what I really wanted to play. I played a warrior up to like maybe level 13, and it was enjoyable. I guess as enjoyable as anything else. But for some reason I thought, well, warrior's probably going to be the most played class. And so of course the hipster in me doesn't want to do what everybody else is doing, so I thought, well, let me just play Ret Paladin then. That seems kind of fun. But then now I feel like everywhere I go I see nothing but Paladins. But maybe it's just like confirmation bias. And again, I guess at the end of the day, the most important thing is as long as I'm enjoying what I'm playing, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. All the way up to the point where I just have to find other people that I can do dungeons and raids with that don't mind a paladin. Sad.
That's still recharging.
This is against... I mean, I'm fighting mobs that are like my level or even a little bit lower. And I still feel like I'm having to... Yeah, I'm going to have to drink here. It's not enough mana. I don't feel like managing mana as a physical attack class is a very fun mechanic. And I wonder too... I still haven't actually been able to find a group to be able to run like Deadmons. But I wonder how that dynamic works when you're running in a group environment. Oh gosh. That's going to be a bailout. I pulled 3. That's actually... There's like twins right here. The closest two. Whoop! Whoa!
I can't.
Dude, your friends left you, man. The twins were like, alright, you got this. Poor guy. I didn't even have to use, like, defensive abilities. That's just foul, man. They did him dirty. We got your back, man. Get him. Get him. Alright, I'm gonna pull this guy away just a little bit because they run. And my stun is still on cooldown. Oh, you ran the wrong way anyway, dude. Man, they did him dirty. Wonder if I can pull this guy. I don't have like a really ranged way to pull. I think the range on this is 10 yards. That was another reason why I kind of thought that I wanted to, Oh, I got to... Oh, yeah, man. I gotta punish these guys for, like, bailing on their friend. What is this? Spirit. They must have heard me complaining about having to drink. They're trying to take away my precious mana regen.
That's still recharging.
Dude, somehow I missed a seal cast.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast it.
Nice. Hopefully that'll help with the questing a little bit too. Another level on these mobs. Maybe I'll be able to kill a little bit faster and won't have to worry as much about like mana. But with the Exorcism rune, I would be able to... Dude, I like double sealed. It's trash. Because it has a range of 30 yards, so if I had the Exorcism rune, at least I'd have a ranged pull. But so like with questing, it's on the same slot as Rebuke is. Where is Rebuke? It goes on Pants, the Exorcism rune. So when I get to 24, I'll be able to get it because I've already farmed this. And then it lets Exorcism be used on anything, and then it's a guaranteed crit against undead and demons. But then it gives me a way to be able to pull from range. It's like I could, you know, pick mobs out of a pack. I guess largely it's going to become irrelevant soon. I don't know how much questing I'll actually be doing once I hit 25. I'm definitely going to want to figure out some kind of way to... some kind of an efficient way to be able to make gold at 25. Is this 2 again? 2 is doable.
Isn't ready yet.
I don't like 3 though.
Recharging. I can't do that.
Now, the interrupt was good there. Alright. I'm gonna have to heal back up. Buff's almost gone as well. Nice crit. Rebuff.
I can't cast that yet. That's
Running. Sail of Crusader here. I guess that's right. I definitely want to judge Crusader. But I probably had at least one attack that would have... For like the next couple of seconds, I think Seal of Command would have been better to have up than Seal of the Crusader. So I could have gone Command, and then as this is coming off cooldown, Crusader, Judge, and then get Command back up. But then again, you're talking about the amount of mana. Like, these seals aren't necessarily cheap when it comes to mana. Good progress. And I really don't want to have to drink. And then thinking again, you know, once you get into the group content, like, is managing mana in a dungeon and a raid going to be a thing? I really hope not. I would rather manage cooldowns than manage a resource, because I don't really have any way to be able to generate more of my resource. And that goes back to one of my big complaints with Diablo 4. I was having to stop having fun using the fun skills to use basic skills to regenerate my resource so that I could start having fun again. And it's kind of the same here, although Diablo 4 felt like it was even more egregious. Because it was like, you know, with a sorcerer, frozen orb, maybe a third one, and then I'm like, you know, the equivalent of wanding in WoW.
That's still
To be able to get mana to be able to frozen orb again. At least here I can potentially go a few minutes in between. That buff's almost gone too. I probably don't even really need the buff. But I guess there's no reason to save the buff food either. Definitely can't take 4. I'll swing back through and head like up this way to see if there's more gnolls that I can pick off. I can get this guy. I don't want anything to do with that camp, though. Here, let me talk to you. Man. I was trying to catch Judgment. Cast Judgment, but I didn't have him targeted. I tried to tab target, but I guess it didn't pick him up because he was behind the tree. So then I ended up casting my seal like 2 or 3 times. Hurting my mana in the process. Another one. Should be able to get this one.
out of range.
And I'm going to pull him back.
That spell isn't ready.
Man, he hit me with the bob and weave. Oh, and I mistimed the hammer swing, man. I'm getting a lot of greens up here with this questing. I mean, that's another decent item to be able to sell on the auction house. But again, look at my bags. I've got 4 empty slots, and then I'm just going to be like destroying the cheap stuff. This might actually sell for more than the vendor price. And this is a quest item, so I definitely don't want to destroy that when it comes to it.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready.
I found more greens just in the stuff that I'm killing for the last, like, hour than I've found
That's still recharging.
maybe in, like, the last 5 hours before that. Like, it's pretty good. Maybe it's because the level of mobs that I'm fighting, they're just more likely to drop greens. But that should help with my gold quite a bit.
I can't cast that yet.
I don't know what the next level cap is going to be, but I kind of want to have like a nice little base of gold. So that when it comes to being able to get a mount, I'll, you know, I'll have the money and not have to worry about it. Although I think Paladins get a quest line for a mount in Classic. But it's probably one of those things where once I hit 40 and can get a mount, I'm probably just want to go ahead and buy the mount. Because it'll be a quest line that sends you all over creation and into dungeons and stuff. I'm sure of it. So it's going to be like one of those instant gratification things. Give me the mounts now.
That's still recharging.
Silver bars. I'll have to drop bars. My precious bag space. I gotta be really careful about these, Alright, so this row is like off limits when it comes to selling stuff.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Wisdom back up. Well, I think at level 24 I get another rank of Blessing of Wisdom. So potentially that helps with the mana issues that I'm sometimes experiencing. Like, sometimes it's fine. It depends on how long I have to run around, or how much time between pulling mobs. So I need 3 more gnolls. I think I can pull, like, these 2 without pulling the entire camp.
I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Man, the 1 minute cooldown on the stun is
Isn't ready yet.
tough.
I can't cast that yet.
Like, I was expecting to just be able to stun that thing.
That's still recharging.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. Thought he was out of melee range. And would be able to aggro. Fortunately, it was a negative. See? Oh, that's nice. Other people don't always buff you, which is kind of weird. But I was able to land a buff on this guy. The right buff, because I gave him wisdom, and that's what this spec would want. And I was able to cleanse the disease that was on him. And then fortunately, they repaid me with a buff. But I feel like that's something that, like, just observing what other people are doing as I'm running around, that's not something that happens often enough. Like, you have a buff, it doesn't cost you anything to throw a buff on somebody that you run by while questing. So how come you don't do it? Stop resisting. Nice. I need to get this on the bar. And I don't need 2 stacks either, I don't think. I don't have to potion very much. But when I need it, I need it. But maybe I'll sell a couple of potions. Managing bag space is becoming a mini-game. So I need... yeah, mongrels. I need 2 of them. Oh, is this guy gonna pull it? He is. Man, I can't pull that without pulling at least 3. Maybe there's more up here just walking around. They're all mongrels. Looks like there's gonna be... yeah, there's somebody else up here farming. These are all mongrels. It's like another big camp up there. I just want to be able to pull like the 2 that I need. And then be able to get out of here. Go back, finish up farming the spiders. And move on from there. Wasn't really expecting respawn. Man, I'm glad this thing respawned while I was...
That spell isn't ready.
before I pulled. Get 3.
It's still recharging.
Ooh, I got 4. He's hitting me through a tree. Definitely got to get out of here. Oh, man. I thought I was going to get to kill this one. Not that I need it, but just to punish him for hitting me with the frost spell. But that's a situation where, like, if you're a class that can't go immune, I think you're just dead on the spot. It's the good thing about Pally, I guess. You get a get out of jail free button as long as you use it properly. No. Yeah, keep running. I'll take the mob. still need the bag or no? I don't remember getting the bag. Oh yeah, I do still need them. These can't drop it though? Doesn't look like it. Log roll. And all of a sudden there's like a lot of people here. I think I double sealed again as well.
That's still recharging.
And again, I mean, we're all just standing around, all trying to fight the same mobs, and nobody's in a group.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Alright. What do these guys have left? Nah, you know, way I'm hanging out for another 10. Thanks for group. These Johnny-come-latelys. And that was almost a mistake. We're good. Alright, 4 gooey legs, man. These things have like 8 legs. Cough it up. Nice. So the black slimes cannot drop the bag. Dude, I don't want to fight you. I don't have what I need. Also, don't want to get hit by that. Out of range? Nice. All of a sudden we're 100% drop rate on the quest item. We'll use our ability, and now we have like 4 seconds before we can do anything else. Maybe 6. So we got plenty of time to eat and drink while our Paladin is auto-attacking. Whoa. Actually 100% drop rate on the spotters now. One more? Man, what I need is Sita's bag to drop. Sneak in a heal here. Not to cut it too close. 'Cause I feel like I've got bad memories of doing that quest and it just taking absolutely forever to get the drop. Of course, maybe I was farming the wrong sludges like I was a little bit ago. Nice. Okay. So, start working our way back. Get the turn in here. And then just start hitting the oozes up through there. There might be a follow-up quest from the Green Warden. I'm pretty sure this guy said that there was that the PvP event was starting soon, like 15 minutes ago, and the horde was at 80%. Like, the number of horde is so low that it takes a really long time for the event to start because there's nobody getting to 100% on their side. Create a new window. And I'm gonna set this to just be guild chat. Well, I like the rain. About to run right by my quest return, though. Should probably add another guild window for... another chat window for Whispers as well. This makes it a little bit easier to be able to track things when you have these different things. The saddest thing is, for like the last couple of days, I thought that you couldn't do this and that it was a feature from one of the expansions. Otherwise, I would have already had those windows added. 9 crude flints. So let me go ahead and do that. Unlock, unlock. Oh, I might have to click. Maybe that's what it was. I was right-clicking on combat log. You have to right-click on general to be able to create a new window. And then this will be only for Whispers. Easy. So yeah, I'll be able to kill the trogs over here. Puts me close to the oozes. Well, we got a nice little fog effect going too. I just need some good luck from the oozes. Dropping the bag that I need. Not gonna lie, I was slightly intimidated when I saw it was level 24, but then I realized that I hit level 23 just a little bit ago. 1 level's not that big a deal. And really 2 levels is doable, but the problem is, if you get 2 mobs that are 2 levels above you, at least for me in this very specific situation, I can't actually kill them. Or I have to use like all my cooldown stuff to be able to kill them. Just ends up being risky. At least the oozes don't try to run away. Trogs, I think, always try to run away, just like the gnolls do. Yeah, see, even at 1 level above, I was able to kill 2, even with a little bit of time in between. And I still had to heal after 2. Whereas the mongrels that were like 1 level lower than me, I could move from one to the next and not have to worry about it. Isn't that dead? Come on, game. I'd have to get an emergency... Okay. I was gonna say I might have to get an emergency divine protection.
That's still recharging.
Now I'm out of mana. Okay. I thought that was gonna be a potion situation. I might actually be, well, since it's not hardcore, I guess like dying isn't that bad. But the graveyard runs are really long, so I kind of like to not have to do that. But I don't want to use my cooldowns and then not have my cooldowns anymore, so I try to only use them when I really need them, but sometimes I let it go a little bit too far. Let my health get just a little bit too low. And then I die like with cooldowns available, which is not great. Alright. Oh, these aren't trogs. These are... They're still gnolls. I don't want to try to get into that camp too much. Hopefully there's some, like, a little bit farther over down in here that I can pick out individually. See anything at all right now, though. There's, like, no movement of any kind. Oh. Here's one. I probably want to pull him away from this, though. Just in case.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
Come on, Fin Runner. Man, they move faster when they take off running like that.
That spell isn't ready yet.
I think I like looked up to check my buffs, and in just that brief moment, it took off running, and then I wasn't able to catch it.
I can't cast that yet.
The risk.
Isn't ready yet.
Oh yeah, look at how fast that is, man. If you're not exactly paying attention and start moving when they do, they just get out of melee range. So if you're close to a camp, they pull the camp, and then
Inventory is
it's a wipe. Gotta throw something away. Yep, 16 copper sounds like the throwaway. What is this? YouTube threw a warning at me. I wanted to check out what it was. Look at this guy. Chilling in the water. Actually gonna jump in there with him. I'm gonna step away for just a moment. I'll be right back. Scared this guy off. Don't forget to rebuff. I got a good feeling about exactly this ooze right here. Man! Somebody else is gonna kill the ooze while I'm dealing with this crocolisk. And I'm kind of wary about trying to run up and tag it because of the levels. Alright, we're good. Just a little bit since they like moving around.
I can't cast that yet.
What is he hitting me with?
That's still recharging.
Like, there's no status effect. It's...
Ready yet.
I keep expecting to see that I've been poisoned or something. Rancid Blood hits for 31 shadow damage, but it's like an instant ability. There's no cast time on it. Clear the edges and work our way in. And rebuff, because I don't have any other buttons to click. And then we're chilling. Whoop! Ability came off cooldown. Auto attack Paladin. Whoop!
I can't carry it.
So I'll drop the 56 copper for the 7 silver. I didn't realize there was one so close. This guy was blending in with the headstones of the graveyard. Gotta go ahead and stun here. I probably should have healed. Actually, I'm just gonna eat and get the buff back up. The 4 stamina is a bit comical, but it might actually end up making a difference. Man, this buff food... Oh yeah, it's like low level. So it is 4 stam, but it doesn't... I'll save you, brother. But it just doesn't heal for anything compared to like my actual health total. Nice with the big boy crit. Dude, Lifeless Skull, 2 silver. What are you talking about? I am so cheap. Large slimy bones. Alright, I got a good feeling about exactly this ooze. Oh! I pulled the Crimson Ooze. Don't know what the Crimson Ooze is. Or if I should be afraid of it, so I'm just gonna run away. Run away and re-pull to another day. Still got a good feeling about this ooze, though. I gotta be careful, too, because there's gonna be respawns soon.
I can't cast it again. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Right. It's like my gut was wrong.
I can't cast that yet.
So it actually has a chance of dropping the quest item as well. 25. That one level actually makes a difference, though. I feel like I get so many more misses and dodges against enemies that are even just 1 level higher than I am. So it just feels more efficient to try to target like the lower level stuff, rather than fight one and have to drink, heal or whatever. Then when I finish this, I still need like 8 more of the crude flints.
I need to get closer.
Did I get... Yeah, I got this food as a quest reward at some point. So I guess I'll just make use of it while it's in my bag. See you sneaking around down there. Man, even like the level 23s that are the same level I am, it feels like it takes so much longer to kill them than it does if they're like level 22. I guess that's just like the difference in health. Now I definitely need a drink. I got a good feeling about exactly this ooze. It's gonna drop the bag. I swear I remember this, though, from Classic. Like, just having to kill so many of these to be able to get that quest item. And then I think, like, in later expansions or patches or whatnot, they kind of fixed the drop rate so that it was normal. But not in this Classic era.
I can't carry.
I would almost be tempted to just abandon the quest.
It's too far.
So I really think there's a decent chance I'm going to be here for quite a while. It resisted the Seal of the Crusader, and then somehow I missed the seal refresh as well. Resisting everything. See, look. One level higher.
I can't cancel that yet.
Miss. It's resisted spells twice. Dodge. So just that one level makes a big difference.
I need a target.
Wait. Close the boot. Oh, wow, they stack. Wait, I thought this thing was like 2 silver or something. Now I've got 2 of them and it's 95 copper. I've been had. Alright, hopefully we don't get like misses and resists on this one, but it is still 1 level higher. Resist. Miss.
Inventory is full.
Shoddy blender bus. Linen cloth. Would have thought there'd be respawns by now. Alright, I need to be able to pull. Ooh. I almost didn't see the guys like right here behind the tent, but that's like a pack of 4. I definitely can't do that. Maybe I can get this guy as an individual.
I need to get closer.
I can, but he's gonna... Wrong seal. He's gonna run, and these things are like lightning fast when they go to run, too. Nice, the big boy crit takes care of that. But no crew flints. I thought I heard something splashing in the water. I was just about to pull, too. Rah! Hit him with the battle cry. Hit the crit, give him the battle cry. Ah!
I can't carry anymore.
Care about croc meat. And I better top off just in case I do get more. I want to pull just this one. Oop, there's another crocolisk out there.
Still recharging.
It's safe. 7 more flints, and then I still got to figure out how I can get a bag, man. The oozes are doing me in with the bags.
I can't cast that yet.
Hey, because I get it recorded.
Yeah.
It's too far away.
Oh, he's on me. Man, these things actually hide in the water really well. I had no idea this Crocodile was here. So another one of like
Isn't ready yet.
the little nuances that I wonder about when it comes to the DPS rotation is... So the Judgment is off the global cooldown. So what I've been doing is I would go Judge, and then if Crusader Strike is off cooldown, I go Judge Crusader and then refresh my seal. Which I think is right, but I wonder if you should go Judge this and then Crusader Strike. But the problem is, yeah, the issue with that is, like, this is on a cooldown, this isn't. So unless you have an auto attack that's going to go off in the time of that one global cooldown, and that it's going to actually proc, you're going to be doing more DPS to Crusader Strike. It's got a little too close. Another Crocodile. I heard it coming, though. So, I want to kill the Croc first, because I know that it's not going to try to run away. But it's already looking kind of rough as far as my health.
I can't cast that yet.
I had to do it. I really don't like having to use cooldowns, man. Like, an emergency cooldown just for
Inventory is full.
regular quest mobs.
Still recharging.
Pull 2 mobs and you're basically dead if they're the same level.
That spell isn't ready yet. I
Man.
can't cast that yet.
Alright, I gotta throw away something else for the wand. And those are quest items, so I don't want to touch those. The mutton chops I don't need. Nice, that ought to sell. Getting tired of this bag management, though. Kind of not what I want to be doing with my time, but maybe it doesn't matter, but I've kind of convinced myself that it's necessary. I just hate feeling poor. And I feel so poor. And I'm not actually finding the quest items either. Probably have to be careful about running towards the water in these situations because of the crocodiles that are sneaking around. Look, there's one right there. And I'm drowning somehow. Fighting a crocodile in its natural habitat.
I can't carry anymore.
Alright, I guess we'll get the buff back up. The force stand could actually be important. Can't believe I'm saying that. But it actually could.
That's still recharging.
Alright, I'm gonna pull this one over where I just killed a crocolisk. Oh. I'm gonna pull this one over into the other camp behind me because I'm not paying attention. It's almost bad. pulling one a lot of the time isn't bad. But we saw earlier I had 2 level 23s on me, and I had to pop Divine Protection. Oh my gosh, this guy's fast too. Just don't change direction the other way. Not that way. Look at this. Now he's bringing friends. A lot of friends. Oh my gosh. Dude, I was, wasn't I immune? Protected from physical attacks. I died to a frostbolt. I thought it was immunity, just like Divine Protection. This is, oh, this is physical attacks and spells. Blessing of Protection. I was probably dead anyway, between the nets and the slow from the frostbolt, because even if I had used Lay on Hands, I was basically stuck in place by the nets. So I got victimized by the run speed of this guy. And the direction that he ran. Even my 4-stam buff couldn't save me. So I guess I needed to pull him farther back. It must be these fin runners. They just have like a fast run speed, so you gotta be careful about where you're pulling them to. I can't imagine actually playing like hardcore and something like that happens. I got you this time, dude. It only matters if he runs this way, and so by the way I've got him positioned, I would have more time to react. With like a Hammer of Justice to stun. But his run speed is faster than mine.
I need to get closer.
Revenge. And we got a quest item out of it, so that's nice. But I actually liked... I mean, I played hardcore in Diablo, and I liked hardcore. But for some reason in World of Warcraft, I guess there's a less of a time investment in Diablo. It's in World of Warcraft,
Still recharging.
Alright, I'm gonna let him go.
I can't cast that yet.
I'm gonna get off a heal though, I think. And then when he comes back, just need to kill him. Here he comes. So then I should be able to just like pull both of those then. Yeah, see, the Trapper is not as fast. It's the Fin Runners that run so fast, so that's what we got to keep in mind here. Fin Runners. They got wheels. What is this?
I can't carry anymore.
Man, 2 kills. Oh, I did get a quest item. 5 of 9. Rockalisk. It's weird, man. You can't hear them until they start to run. Like once you have aggro, they start to run, and then that's when I can hear like the splashy footsteps charging in behind me. And there's actually 4 there. I don't think I can make that pull. Already got a shipment. Silver bars, smoked sagefish. I might actually take a look at the auction house for 6 silver bars. I think that's potentially worth it for the extra rep and money reward.
That's still recharging.
I'm gonna kill this guy, but I do want to look in that chest unless somebody else comes up and takes it. I just don't know. It feels like there should be, or could be, respawns over here, so I don't want to take the chance of getting caught with my pants down. see. I don't think I'm really interested in any of that. Would have been nice to find a couple of quest items in there. Go ahead and refresh buffs while there's nothing else to do. Nice. So we're making progress on the flints, man. It's just this item that's dropped by the oozes that kind of feels like we're not getting anywhere. Somebody else over here too. This guy's been sitting there just AFK for a while. Look at this, man. One level higher, and it can almost solo me. Oh. Okay. Anything stupid. 99 cents. Perfect. So I just need like 3 more crude flints, and then I'll be ready to go and start turning stuff in. I wonder how much XP do we need? A little over 18,000, so I don't think it will actually be leveling from these turn-ins, unless I have to kill a lot of these gnolls. I was hoping it'd be enough to hit 24 and give me a good excuse to go back to, like Ironforge or Darnassus. But that does not look like what the case is going to be.
I can't carry anymore.
Dude. Pinching pennies like a pro. He's a pro. So wait, I want to pull this guy a little bit farther back even.
That spell isn't ready yet.
And I'm going to try to burst him down. Oh, okay. So I was saving both of my abilities so that when he turned to run, I was going to wait one more auto attack and then use both abilities to try to kill him before running away. Just try to burst him like you would in PvP.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Should be good. But this is a Fin runner, so you know it's the guy that runs fast.
Still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
2 to go. Up. Should be a Crocolisk in here somewhere. So gotta remember that. It's another Fin runner, so I want to pull him away.
I'm out of range.
Gonna try to move him away from the Crocolisk as well. Man, I was kind of expecting him to take off running at that point too.
It's too far away. That spell isn't ready yet. I need to get closer.
Nice. Hey, Kenneth. How you doing? No way I can pull a pack of 3. Oh, there should be more farther down, so I don't need the oozes anymore. There's no real reason to try to hang out in this area. Did you take a break from Hearthstone? I did. I haven't played Hearthstone in like 2 months. It just became a little bit more frustrating than fun for me, so Yeah, just taking some time to do some other things. But a couple of people have been stopping by that have told me, I haven't played the new expansion, obviously, since it's, just come out. But I've had some people come by saying that they've been enjoying it. I haven't even looked at the cards, man. They revealed the cards, and I don't even know what's in the game now as far as the latest set. But my understanding is that there's like Highlander cards and Highlander decks again. Which kind of, like for me, it kind of feeds into one of the reasons why I wanted to take a break anyway. Because it felt like the developers were pushing the strength of luck-based outcomes. So like, I thought Discover was too strong and too prevalent. Opponents were discovering wins. Which I, obviously didn't really enjoy. When my opponent would randomly create a win condition. And it seemed like that was becoming more frequent. Like, a little bit of luck, I guess, is fine, and I understand why they say it's fun, but with card games specifically, there's already a luck factor. Hey, Cax, greetings to you as well.
I can't cast that yet.
But with card games, there's already a luck factor, like luck of the draw, what card you draw next. So adding in all these other forms of luck, I just personally didn't find enjoyable. And then on top of that, when you start thinking about Highlander decks, it gets even worse because you have all these one-ups that are in your deck. It reduces the chance that you're going to either, draw your out or that your opponent is going to draw what they need. So then, it just feels really bad when it happens. The problem for me really comes in when I start running the math on that stuff.
I'm out of range.
Like, my opponent has a, I don't know, 8% chance. Like, I'm knowing that what they did or how I lost was a low possibility, and then I actually do the math on the probability, realize what happened, and start to get frustrated. But I do think... I was thinking about checking it out sometime soon, the new expansion. Didn't realize how low my health was. But I think, and again, like, one of the things that went along with my frustration that I was experiencing with the game was also to do with the amount of money that I was spending on the game. I was in for like, I don't know, 200 and close to $300 a year, and that was just to buy like the 1 mega bundle and the mini set because I wanted to have a full standard set so that I could play anything. And so then, thinking about it like that, I felt like I was, right now you should wait because Paladin is out of control. That doesn't sound like good news. But I wasn't getting like, new cards come out. I didn't like that they would immediately start nerfing new cards like the first week. They want you to ride the hype train for a month, and then you buy a pre-order, and then they're immediately nerfing the good cards. Archetypes, a year plus, like multiple archetypes being played in standard were a year plus in the metagame. So anyway, if I do come back, it's probably going to be, like, I might just be like a class specialist or something. But for me, especially, like, when it comes to companies and products, if I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on a company's product, it needs to be worth spending that money on, in my opinion. And so, like, even just buying a pre-order for a Hearthstone expansion, you're getting such a small amount of new content, and for such a short amount of time, I'm just having a hard time justifying it. Like, you can go out and buy brand new games, $60, $70, and I'm spending more than that every couple of months on Hearthstone cards, and not enjoying it, and not getting a new diverse play experience. Rotation will happen late February, early March. Game is going to be really different. Have they started to... game has gotten very expensive for a card game. I feel like card games have always been expensive, like Magic the Gathering. That's kind of like a feature that people have accepted. And I did for a long time too, but it feels like there should be a better way. But have they started to talk about the rotation at all? Like what they're going to do? Because last year's rotation seemed very minimal as best as I remember. A lot of the core cards stayed the same, which again kind of led to the same archetypes.
I can't cast it.
This guy's going to take off. Yep, and they're fast. I'm going to go the other way, just preemptively in case he does end up drawing a pack. Go down a heal, get my buff back up. Where'd he go? Oh. Going around the world. I do still need one, right? Yeah, one. Death Knight is losing a lot of triple rune cards. Blood Decay is completely going away.
That's still recharging.
Well, a lot of the blood cards were kind of geared up to be more control oriented. So I kind of wonder, like, is control Death Knight going away, or is it just in its current form? Because that was one of the gripes I had. Like, Death Knight is exactly the same class now as it was when it released a year ago. The rune system on the cards, you know, they built it up as being, it's going to be great for deck building, and it was actually the opposite. It was extremely limiting. And then, you know, like Blood Death Knight, you got a couple of new cards throughout the different expansions, but it was still basically the same deck.
I can't cast that yet.
Like, some of those cards were in Blood Death Knight the entire year. I would say the majority of the cards in the deck, if you really look at it. Still need one.
I can't cast that yet.
I'm going to save up some burst. Missed the auto attack.
I can't cast that yet.
I have no abilities. And there's a crocolisk in the water.
That spell isn't. That's still. That spell.
But there were.
I can't cast.
I mean, it back. So I'm hoping they can really, really shake things up with the next card rotation. Also, it's earlier this year. Probably told us many times, but I missed it. Are you completely done with Hearthstone or just taking a break? Just taking a break. I'm sure I'll be back to check out the game. I just don't know. I don't know exactly when. I was thinking about looking at it soon, though. Because I've always, I mean, I found Hearthstone fun since I first started playing it, which was like late beta just before it came out. I started. It just hasn't been enjoyable recently. But it's one of those things where also, you know, taking a break feels disproportionately punishing for your collection. If you're having to buy packs with gold, you take a break, and then you're not going to have that in-game currency that you need to be able to buy packs and stay current. I'm going to have to heal here. Free! But hopefully, like, when the rotation happens with a new year, you'll be able to really shake things up. But it also depends on how much they're willing to change. And I wonder, too, like, they plan so far in advance. Like, I've heard before the developers say that they are working on expansions that are going to come out 2 years from now. So they probably have some kind of a loose plan of what they're going to do. Well, I mean, they would have to, right? With the basic set. It all ties in together. So what they're going to do with the basic set may have been locked in a year ago. If they were happy with the direction that things were going, then it may just not be, you know, a whole lot different than what it is now. And I was a little concerned, too, that they had so many developers seem like left in a very short amount of time. There were... And that was just the ones that announced publicly that they were leaving. So maybe it was just the ones that were more vocal on social media, but it seemed like they had quite a few people leave in a short amount of time. And I don't know how big their team is. Obviously, turnover is always going to be a thing. But sometimes it's potentially a bad sign, man. You get the feeling of it's like rats jumping off a sinking ship. Plus, like, Hearthstone made some really weird moves, man. Like, they came out with Battlegrounds, they didn't monetize it, and it was a huge hit, so then they tried to monetize it after the fact. Mercenaries was a massive flop. Honestly, Mercenaries to me almost reminds me of this mess that's going on with that new game The Day Before, where it just wasn't a fully developed idea. And then they tried to start selling it. Like, Mercenaries never felt like it was fully developed. Even just the game board felt like it wasn't finished. And, like, they sold pre-orders, and again, like, massive amounts of money. The whales, I'm sure, went in on Mercenaries. I was this close to buying one of the Mercenaries launch packs that were, again, like, you know, $50, $60. Didn't, and then I was so glad I didn't. But that was a waste of time, and then they ended up shutting it down after a year. They had a couple of different game directors in what felt like a short amount of time, so you kind of start to wonder what's going on. Some got fired without notice. I might have actually missed that. Twist was also a massive flop, not going to lie. So I enjoyed Twist when it first came out. I was frustrated in, like, I guess you would call it Season 0, because you had some people that got a star bonus based on Wild, or I guess everybody got a star bonus based on Wild, and I never played Wild Hearthstone. So I found, like, ranking up to be kind of frustrating. Then they fixed that to a certain extent with Season 1. I really enjoyed Season 1, but then when you got to Legends, the queue time was ridiculous. You couldn't find a match. And then when they announced Season 2, they were supposed to be... They said that they would be changing formats frequently. And then when they announced Season 2, it was exactly the same format with the caveat that, you know, you could play cards up to 40, and your hero's health would be equal to the number of cards in your deck. So, like, 37 cards, 37 health. And I was like, this is exactly the same. On top of the fact, which this may have been my fault, but it was replacing Classic. And I always thought that, like, Classic Hearthstone, everybody had access to all the cards. And so when I heard about Twist, I'm like, this is great. You know, people will be able to go back, play with the cards. It's almost like advertising. Maybe people want to buy wild packs or something so they can own the cards for after the season rotates. And that wasn't it. It's totally dependent on your collection. So it's a huge barrier of entry for newer players. I thought it was a flop too. So again, part of that may have been my fault. Maybe I just didn't read the information they were putting out to understand what Twist was actually going to be. But I thought it was going to be more accessible than what it really was. Like, Wild was already the least popular format, and what they released was basically just like a slightly modified version of Wild, where you still need that collection. So... And I mean, it's easy to kind of play armchair quarterback and say, well, this was a mistake, that was a mistake. Hindsight is 20/20, but I keep that in mind, but at the same time, we're talking about my money. So, you know, don't necessarily want to be too hard on the developers, but at the same time, if you want me to spend money on your product, you got to give me something that I want to play. Or you have to, you know, provide a service, whatever that looks like. Plus, there were a lot of... Again, not to be too hard on individual people, but there were a lot of, like, well-known people within the community that were almost like developer apologists. Like, well, the developers are great, it's the suits, you know. At Blizzard, it's Bobby Kotick's fault and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm kind of like, well, you know, I think about all the people that I know personally. The average person is not very good at their job. I mean, if you disagree, tell me you disagree. The average person is not very good at their job. And so that means there's poor performers in every profession. That's from the people making your burger at McDonald's all the way up to people working at NASA, the government, presidential advisors, you know, running the spectrum, doctors. The average person is not very good at their job. And so you have to keep that in mind with everything that's going on. And so to come out and say that an entire group of people are good and high performing, there's just no way. Some of the mistakes that were made were based on development decisions made by developers that were on purpose. All right, we got a fat lot of turn-ins here. And I look across, there is validity to the argument, though, like leadership kind of setting the culture of the company. And you can set up a poor performing culture, and you can attract poor workers, really, in any industry. And when you kind of look at Blizzard as a whole, it feels like large portions of the company are underperforming. Again, I say that me as a consumer and whether or not I'm going to spend money, but, you know, you can argue that Diablo 4 was a flop. It's gotten better since it came out, but it's still not necessarily a great game, especially compared to the competition. For me, Hearthstone not as good as it could be. I think about like Warcraft 3 remastered. Diablo 2 Resurrected, I just really enjoyed Diablo 2, but it still has the same issues that it would have had 20 years ago. The new mobile game, Warcraft Rumble, I was really excited about that. I thought it was great. I downloaded it and played it like the day it came out for a couple of hours, and then I had to charge my device. Like, it's so bad on battery that I just put it down and said, I'm not playing this. You know, I'm not going to sit here and have to charge my phone every couple hours or recharge my tablet or whatnot. It's just not worth it. So, like, across all of Blizzard, and I don't count, like, the Activision stuff, Call of Duty and whatnot, although I'm not a big fan of, you know, Call of Duty games either. There's really no development team that feels like they're really, really making moves.
Open for business.
Except maybe the World of Warcraft team. Season of Discovery at least piqued my interest, which of course is what I'm playing right now. But even then, it feels like, you know, potentially limited shelf life depending on what's going to happen. I'm going to miss the Hearthstone content. I'm sorry, man. It'll be back at some point. One of the things that I've noticed, though, this is just a hobby for me. You know, I have fun, you know, like talking to you guys. If somebody can come and hang out for a little while, that's great. But in order for me to really enjoy doing this, I need to enjoy the game that I'm playing. Like, forcing myself to do it is never going to be in a good situation. But also, it's surprising the amount of time that you have to put in to be able to do this stuff, too. Like when you're making videos, the editing, and, you know, if you're going to go live, just being able to set aside those uninterrupted hours, you end up spending a lot of time on this stuff. And I kind of go back and forth, you know, for me personally, what works better. Like, just hey, I'm going to play for a little while, let me turn the stream on and go. Or, you know, obviously you don't want to stream for 45 minutes because that's kind of a waste of time. If you're going to do it, you got to have that uninterrupted block.
King's honor, friend.
So is it better to, you know, like play and record for 45 minutes with the goal of doing that for a few days in a row and then being able to put out a video?
Light bless you.
So it's one of those things that, you know, I'm basically just goofing around on YouTube. Just trying to figure out, you know, what works for me in the time that I have. I've been getting beat up at work for the last several months, too. Enjoyed your Hearthstone vids, too. Good stuff. Thanks, Kenneth. I appreciate that. There were some things that I honestly thought would have been received better than they were. But I guess, and this is probably true for everybody, but I always wanted to make stuff that I would want to watch on YouTube. So like, towards the end, on the Hearthstone thing, I was like, you know what? I want to play a big chunk of games, because when I looked around like on YouTube at Hearthstone, I would see like a lot of YouTube videos. First of all, everybody on their thumbnail would have like the #1 legend, right? I saw a lot of that. I'm not going to say everybody or every video, but you would see that a lot. Largely from a lot of people who could never sniff #1 legend and were nowhere close to playing at that level. But you would see that on the thumbnail, and you would see videos like, I went 4-1 with this meta breaker deck, and I'm like, 5 games? I mean, you could win 4 out of 5 with just an absolute trash deck if you're high rolling. So one of the things that I thought, I want to play like a decent chunk of games. Still a small sample size, but like I had a video, I think I played like 50 games of, you know, some kind of deck. And I was like, you know, to me, you can actually maybe get some insight out of that. And I thought that was something that other people would enjoy. It was something that I was interested in. And then it didn't perform as well as I thought it would. But again, I mean, who knows? That may go back to me. Maybe I'm not personally entertaining to some people.
I buy and trade.
Some people might find my voice annoying or my face annoying, so they would never want to watch anyway. But when I had the idea, I was like, man, this is going to be great. Best laid plans. I gotta be careful what I'm selling here.
Safe
And I got
travels.
another turn in. But when it came to making the videos, I kind of felt like, of course, obviously I'm not aware of everybody and who all out there and who's doing what. I kind of spent my time recording and making videos more so than watching what other people were doing.
Light be with you.
But a lot of the time, I felt like I was doing something a little bit different than what some of the other people were doing. Huh. I'm tempted to take the legs just because they're good. But I've got a quest for a better set of legs. The ones from Dead Mines are better. These guys. So maybe I take the cloak?
Greetings. Go with honor, friend. For the Alliance. Be careful.
Oh, I thought this was a turn-in. This is a new quest. Okay, I'm not even sure I can do that quest. Might be too high level. But yeah, so I don't think... I really need to find a Dead Mines group to do that. Honestly, I was thinking maybe I'll just hit 25 first and then go find a Dead Mines group. But then I started to see in the Looking for Group channel, people were saying, looking for member Dead Mines, not level 25. And I was like, oh, geez. My entire plan. But I don't think I want to take a... zone am I in? Wetlands. Yeah, I may not be able to do this quest anyway. But I don't want to take these and then like immediately replace them when I could potentially get a cloak that's might stick with me for a while. Alright, I guess I'm going to run up to Iron Forge, check out the auction house, and then figure out where to go from there.
Hey there. Safe travel.
So is Paladin like the #1 offender right now in the meta? And what's it doing that's like such a problem? Because really, the last time I played, Paladin really didn't have a whole lot that it could do. Other than like they introduced the new core card. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like when you played it the next 3 turns, all your minions had +3 attack. So like the only viable plan that I can remember that Paladin had was like, you know, go wide like an aggro deck and then play that as a finisher. It was like it's almost like a weird form of Bloodlust. Crusader Aura. Yeah, I was thinking Crusader Strike. Crusader Aura. Got new cards that fits perfectly into pure Paladin. Man, the only time I played Paladin, I'm not going to say it wasn't fun, but like those aggro decks, I could play them for a little while, and then after a few games, it was just like mind-numbingly boring. To me, Paladin was really fun when they had like Combo Paladin, the Shirvala Paladin from a few years ago. I thought was an interesting deck. Control Paladin was never really interesting. Control in general isn't very interesting to me. Maybe at times with like the right deck, but a lot of times it's just so reactive that it feels very boring. Winter Veil is coming. Odin Warrior feels more annoying to face than Paladin. Yeah, Odin Warrior kind of has that thing where it feels like if you don't win the game by a certain turn, you're just guaranteed to lose. Silver bars. Which is kind of... These are a lot more expensive than I remember. Which, I don't know how I feel about, like, a deck having that amount of inevitability. Paladin fell behind on the board, it lost the game, yep, 100%. Now it got a 3 damage AoE to enemy characters. So when you say enemy characters, I assume that means it hits the hero as well. Seven mana spell gets reduced by the amount of minions the opponent controls, so it can hit 0 mana. That actually, I mean, that sounds like a really good card.
Hello.
Just gonna turn this in, man. I'm not messing around with the silver bars. That sounds good, and especially a card like that ends up being so strong because if you can play it for 0 mana, like you're basically clearing the board, and then you still have all of your mana to be able to develop the board for yourself. So it feels like you could potentially swing pretty hard in certain situations. But at the same time, it's also easy for your opponent to play around, right? Like you know exactly what it's going to cost if they have it, and then you build your board appropriately. Let's sell some stuff. They also got a 2 mana spell that summons 3 3/3s for each player. Yours has Rush. So you can combo this with a 7 mana AoE. So you can make the spell cheaper and develop a board. 2 mana for 3 3/3s? So it's a 2 mana spell. It only costs 2 mana because it has the drawback of summoning minions for your opponent. But you can then remove those minions potentially for free. So you have 9/9 worth of stats for only 2 mana. Have they talked about like nerfing any of that stuff? Or is it just kind of the way it is? So, I haven't followed Hearthstone at all. Here's what I'm going to guess. The expansion came out, they did a nerf within like the first week. They nerfed the wrong cards. Now it's obvious what the problem cards are, but they don't have a nerf patch planned, so you're going to be stuck with it. And at this point, you're potentially being stuck with it after the holidays because exactly the same thing happened last year. I don't think they can nerf it because Worlds is right around the corner. Yeah, so they won't be able to nerf it because of the World Championship, and then they're going to be taking a vacation because it's the end of the year holidays. That's exactly what happened last year. I have to do a little research on this guy. Surely this guy is... Somebody's going to be interested in this, right? I'm not going to think too much about it. Just going to throw it out there at 50 silver. That's my quest stuff. I'll get rid of this guy. 1 Swift Thistle. The reason Paladin is this strong is because they just nerfed Enrage Warrior and Sith Mage's Mech AoE. Those 2 decks were holding Paladin back. So Enrage Warrior... I wonder, that's probably a similar deck to what I would remember. Sith Mage's Mech AoE is something I'm not familiar with. That could be something new. Spider Silk. I'm gonna sell this. I'd actually like sell this because you can buy it from a vendor. Let's see. Did you see Azurite Snake before it was nerfed? No, I've never seen the card at all in any form. I never looked at the cards for the new expansion or the most recent expansion, so I have no idea what they are or what they do. Four mana mech deals damage to the board equal to the spell skill. Oh yeah, I remember that guy. It went up to 5 mana. Yeah, I remember that guy. It was a pretty powerful card. Azurite Snake. What did the Azurite Snake do before it was nerfed? Also, when they nerfed it, did they just totally delete the card? Or is it still usable? Because I felt like they had a... Their nerfs were so heavy-handed that cards basically just ceased to exist in a lot of situations.
I can't cast that yet.
Oh no. I just used a 5-minute cooldown because I hit the wrong button. Oh, I think there's like cooking recipes if I remember this right.
Off with you. Watch your back.
Gingerbread cookies and milk.
Time is money, friend. Hurry back.
Talk to me! Glad I could help! Hurry back! Oh, do I have a deal for you?
Oh yeah, gingerbread cookies. And eggnog. I'm gonna go ahead and buy both of these.
For real?
They made a mistake printing out Reno cards when they know there's a DK deck that shuffles duplicates into their deck. So that was Plague DK, right? Was Plague Death Knight actually good at some point? That's another thing, man. I liked Plague DK, but it was a frustrating archetype because, again, you're depending on your opponent to draw the plagues. But, like, shuffling into the deck has never really been a good idea in Hearthstone, right? It just never really worked. Oh, lifesteal mechanic is broken, can't heal through it, and armor doesn't count. Steel mechanic is broken. You know, one of the things I used to see, the complaints that I would see people make, there were a lot of,
Hi.
almost like people wanted
See you soon. Safe
all
travels.
board-based decks. You know, they didn't want anything coming out of hand that was all based on the board and stuff like that. Which is where, like, the Paladin that I remember a couple of months ago kind of fit in. But that's just, you know, it's fine. I don't mind that kind of deck, but to me it's just boring. If every game of Hearthstone was like that, it wouldn't be fun at all. I like to see diverse stuff, you know, diverse meta. You have, like, aggro decks, you know, control decks, combo decks, you know, diversity. That's where the fun comes in. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if you're sitting down and you're playing a lot of Hearthstone, for me, I don't want to play the same deck over and over and over again. Just like hundreds and hundreds of games. But I don't want to play against the same deck all the time either. Lets you remove 10 life from the enemy player that can't be healed back. So you're saying if it was played against me, I go from 30 to 20, and now 20 is my max amount of health? I can never go above 20 again? Surely that has to be a legendary card, right? It's not just a card that you could have multiple copies of. Did I get experience for that? Oh, I did.
You got my attention. Be good.
How do I make gingerbread cookies? Ooh, I've got the eggs. I need 5 cookies, so I need 5 holiday spices.
I got what you need.
Nice. And I'm gonna cook on this this thing right here. Packs, baby. And 10 health. I guess I'd have to actually see it. It's a non-collectible legendary card. I gotta go to... Gotta run down here to the bar. They nerfed it from 10 to 7. So what? Let's see. I'm trying to think of where you could put that where it would do the most damage. Like, Plague DK probably wanted to run that, right? Or maybe any aggro deck? Was it one of those cards that literally... Oh, it's a war... Okay, I see what you're saying. I just assumed, like, neutral... That it was a neutral legendary.
I have the finest wares in the land. Safe travels.
You get it from excavating as a warlock. Excavate is the new keyword they added. It's where you mine and get stuff. Yeah, I totally missed that too, man. Like I say, when I was kind of like not really paying attention to Hearthstone when they were announcing all that stuff, and I just never looked at the new cards. So I don't even know what Excavate is. Mine 4 times. First time you get a common, then rare, then epic, and then the legendary. And these are random cards, or is it like the same card every time?
I need to get
What's
closer.
on your mind? See you soon.
And copper bars. About to drop bars. Commons, rares, and epics are random, but the legendary is not. And see, that's an example of kind of what I didn't like about the direction that Hearthstone was going. Like, all this random stuff. Because I guarantee you there's going to be games where they randomly create exactly the only card in the game that, you know, prevents them from losing or allows them a win condition. Death Knight, Mage, Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior is the classes that can excavate. They are the classes that did not get a Reno card. Okay, so half the classes got a Reno card, and then half the classes got a new keyword. From a design perspective, I'm not sure how I feel about only a half the classes getting access to a new keyword. That feels kind of weird. Each Excavate class got their own respectable legendary. Because I think there's just so many people that don't have a full collection, and so they end up focusing either on one class or a small number of classes. And so then if you release a keyword that's only, you know, that's not for every class, then it's kind of like what I'm going to say is going to be a large portion of the player base, just there's something new that they don't have access to. Which has to feel bad. I'm going to step away for just a second. I'll be right back. DK got Azurite Rat. Resummons your most expensive card. 20 mana legendary gets reduced by the amount of any minions that died in the game. Rat gives the minion reborn, lifesteal, and 2/2. Bubble Boy. Hey, Teddy. What's up, man? Yeah, we bubble occasionally. Man, hearing that about Hearthstone, it almost makes me want to come back. If the Reno decks are popular, I almost want to come back and play Plague Death Knight just to ruin the Reno decks. That seems like that would potentially be fun. It's quest stuff. I can actually go turn this in. Where am I going to go to finish? I need to try to get a Dead Mines run. I could work on that Paladin quest. Herbs. Oh. Yeah, I should be able to get things finished up down in, I'm in Darkshire, so let me go ahead and hearth out. Steam Cleaner is a card. Surely people aren't running Steam Cleaner, though, right? I guess it depends on how popular Death Knight is. But that's another frustrating thing. Like, Steam Cleaner just isn't a good card. So seeing people run it was frustrating. But, so I forgot about that, I guess, just because it's been so long since I played, but, I remember when I would play, like, Plague DK, a lot of times against Priest, I would just instantly concede. Because the Priest decks at the time were, like, always control, and they would have Steam Cleaner in the, ATC band. Or you could try to play the long game and hold on to a lot of your plagues, like, play a few, and try to bait out the Steam Cleaner, but it just didn't really work all that well. Run Steam Cleaner with my ETC, always fun to remove 10 plus plays, yeah. It's a Reno deck, it's hard for them to find it, and the only way they do... Oh, so it is still in ETC.
Can I help you? Have a good one.
Luckily, it rotates in March. So I guess... Well, realistically... If you think about the average number of turns in a Hearthstone game, it probably comes out to be about 50-50, whether or not they draw the ETC. The thing is, like, you put a card like that in the ETC. ETC was, what, 4 mana? And Steam Cleaner was 5? So you're having to pay 9 mana to do that, and it probably takes 2 turns. Because the average Hearthstone game is only like 7 or 8 turns. It always has been. On average. Well, and the other side of that is, too, unless they've specifically said that it rotates, they may decide to keep it in the game. Because there were a few things, I think, last year that I was, you know, maybe a little bit surprised that they left in the game. Or left in, like, the core set or whatnot. Maybe they move it to the core set or something. Steam Cleaner came with Nathria, which should rotate. It should!
Well met. For the Alliance.
But you know the old saying.
Go with honor, friend. Light bless you.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. What was... There was something... There was for sure at least one card that should have rotated that was added to the core set this past year. Or this year. I'm trying to remember what it was, but there was at least one. I'm drawing a blank on it, though. I'm almost positive I'm right about that, though.
What can I do for you? See you around.
I think it's actually faster to get to this side by flying over here and then just running across the river. I can do both of those quests, and then I've got the turn in here that probably has a follow-up. Man, I remember... So this year, when we were coming up on the rotation, it ended up being a disaster for me in the videos I was making, because I'm like, well, let me do some theory crafting for after the rotation and with the first expansion of the new year. And what I found was it was so hard to find a good resource of cards that were rotating. You had some cards that were going core and were going to stay in. And so I think like the first video that I put out of like theory crafting stuff, I had cards in every deck that were actually rotating and were not going to be a part of standard. And I didn't realize it until I had already posted the video. And people were watching it. They were like, hey, wait a minute, I don't think that card's playable. And I was like, huh? The website that I was using, not to say that it was like the fault of the website, but something, I don't know, I screwed it up somehow. It was funny though. Yeah. Well, the issue was, or another issue, it was hard to get screenshots of decks all in one, like, screenshot. So, like, the official Blizzard Hearthstone website, their deck builder, I don't know, it's not great. And the way that you have to scroll up and down through it, sometimes you had to take 2 pictures and crop them and put them together. So the one that I liked was a website called Out of Cards. I thought it had a great aesthetic, and just really preferred it over the Blizzard website. I just found it easier. And something about that, I don't know, man. I got screwed up on like what cards were rotating. I had the filter set wrong or something, I don't know. You can zoom out so you can see the whole deck, yeah. But then when you take a screenshot of it, it's going to be smaller because you've zoomed out. But then also, depending on like where you're wanting to share it or what you're going to do with it, you would see people that would put it on Twitter, and I always felt like ideally you wanted it to fit, perfectly into the tweet, so that if you click on it, so that you wouldn't have to click on it to be able to see the entire image. So it kind of had to be not square, but it couldn't be like this really long and narrow thing, because then somebody has to click on it to open it up to be able to see the whole thing. And the other thing is, and this may sound stupid, but
King's honor, friend.
I would zoom out on the website, but then I would have to fix the zoom for like looking at other websites. Like it wasn't just that website. It was like for the browser. And I found that annoying.
Need help? Be careful.
Like maybe more so than I should have, but I just found it to be really annoying. And I'm like, man, there's got to be something better. Yeah, I don't need much. And then I guess I'm back off to Stormwind to get some training. Yeah, this is... People are really trying to push the limits on some of the quests that they can do with the level cap being 25, just because the rewards are so good. Like, this quest rewards a male headpiece. For sure is one of the rewards. But because the level of the mob is so high, it's like really challenging to be able to get it done. But people are trying to min-max, which again doesn't make sense just based on the level 25 level cap and the content that's available. You don't really need to. Have a buff. Have a buff.
Hello. See you later.
Oh, there is no follow-up there. Abercrombie. This guy's the scammer. Rabid dire wolves. I'm gonna head down this way and see if I can find these quest mobs. So close to being able to finish up. And then we'll be getting the last training that we're gonna get until they release the next phase. Perfect. Not perfect. I wish these were like level 21, 22. 23 is not bad. Typically you don't see a lot of like the animal mobs in a group together. Near worthless ring, but I guess it is a ring. Although, oh, this is the wrong kind of wolf, though. I need rabid dire wolves to be able to do this quest. Free! Why are there two different kinds of wolves just living on the other side of the street from each other? Have a buff. We're gonna give the rogue Blessing of Wisdom. Because they're killing exactly the mob that I want. The priest I'm gonna give Blessing of Wisdom, which they actually want, because, you know, I'd like for them to actually hit me with a buff. And the plan works to perfection. Dude, the ultimate scam is, like, can I hit a priest with Blessing of Might? And still get them to give me the Power Word Fortitude buff.
That spell isn't ready.
Man. Uh-oh. Actually, I want to tag this wolf.
I can't cast that.
I'm gonna kill this guy. And I just need to make sure I don't do something stupid and die.
That's still ready. I can't cast that yet. That spell.
Look at this, man. Out of mana. No abilities I can use anyway because they're on cooldown. Another mob. No quest items. Things are going poorly here. When did you first start playing WoW? I played WoW the first time in 2006. I remember it really well, and I'll tell you why I remember it so well also. But it was like 6 months before the Burning Crusade expansion came out, and that was actually the last time that I played Classic WoW. Like, I didn't play it when they re-released Classic, so I came back to it with Season of Discovery, which was just like a couple of weeks ago. But I haven't been playing it for that couple of weeks. But anyway, the reason why I remember it so well is because, you know, World of Warcraft comes out. Of course, I saw the hype. I remember all that. But, you know, Uncorrupt in his mind. Man, that's for nerds. Of course, you know, it was a different time back then, so nerd was a term that was still used on a regular basis. But anyway, I'm like, man, that's for nerds. I'm not playing that. And so I didn't play it for like the first 2 years that it was out. But then, that was also, 2006 was the year that I met my wife and we started dating. And she actually already owned a copy of World of Warcraft. But she wasn't playing anymore. That expansion was the Burning Crusade. That was the first expansion. But so I started dating what would become my wife, and she had a copy of World of Warcraft. She played and then was no longer playing it. And I just happened to see it, you know, laying around at her place. And I'm like, oh, you played this? I was kind of surprised. And so anyway, she ended up giving it to me. I took it home and decided to try it. And then I played for... Gosh, I played a lot. All the way up through the end of Wrath of the Lich King. And then after that, you know, for me it was kind of like the story was complete. Cataclysm wasn't great, and then a lot of the people that I was playing with actually stopped playing the game. So since then, I've kind of been off and on with it. Started playing early Wrath of the Lich King. It really was the best expansion. So I played like 6 months of Classic. Or Vanilla WoW, I guess you would call it. I never had a max level character. And then Burning Crusade came out, so I bought Burning Crusade. And then I think my first level 70 in Burning Crusade was a Hunter. Rated a little bit, but not much. I don't think I went any higher than like tier 4. So like I remember doing Gruul's Lair. I was more casual. Gold farm. I got epic flying. I remember it cost 5,000 gold. I had to work really hard to be able to save 5,000 gold. Did a lot of dailies, rep farm and whatnot. Lots of alts. But then when I got into Wrath, like at the end of Burning Crusade, I joined a guild that was kind of like a breakaway from an existing guild. They were a small guild, and we did 10-man raiding in Wrath of the Lich King. And for a group of people that met online that lived in, like, really far away from each other in different places, you know, it kind of became like a tight-knit group. But that's when I did a lot of raiding. Honestly, for a while, I think we were some of the better geared people on the server that we were on. Certainly when we were running Nax. But then we ran into like a weird spot too where, you know, we had people for 10 man, 25 man offered better gear. Some of the people wanted to run 25. And we got up to where we had like maybe 17 or 18 good core members of the guild. So we didn't have really enough people to be able to raid 25 man. We also didn't have enough people to be able to have a second raid group, so then it was kind of like, you know, people were having to sit out. Everybody wanted to do the raid. We tried pugging, which went about as well as you would expect. Extremely poorly. So then we had some people leave the guild because they were, you know, going to try to find somewhere where they could maybe fit in a little bit better to the raiding. And then we had some of the, like, the really, really main core members that were in the guild even before I got there, just kind of stopped playing for, you know, different reasons. Man, I'm gonna have to drink again. I don't like it. And I think because it's been so long for me... There's level 24. Because it's been so long for me since I played Classic WoW, I don't remember, like, quite a bit of stuff. Like, having to stop and drink as a melee class is really just not enjoyable. And I don't think you have to do that in retail. I haven't played retail since Castle Nathria. I think that's probably been a couple of years. But Castle Nathria was the raid, and Sire Denathrius was like the last boss of that raiding cycle. Was the last time I played World of Warcraft prior to Season of Discovery. So a lot of the stuff that I remembered is from that version of retail WoW. And like I had a Paladin character. I really don't remember having to stop and drink. And like I don't think that's a thing anymore. And for good reason. Like if I go into a raid group or even a dungeon group and I have to stop and drink because I'm out of mana, I'm gonna be sad. Then it might be time to take a break from WoW, just like I'm taking a break from Hearthstone. Be on break from multiple games. That's tough. Maybe that's what I do, is just go back and forth from Hearthstone and WoW. Let's see, I thought I was done with wolves. Am I not done with wolves? I am, but I don't know where the turn-in is. I'm surprised it's not going back to the same guy. But I think I'm probably just going to run across the river and fly up to Stormwind anyway, get the training. I know there's another level of Blessing of Wisdom. Beyond that, I'm not super sure what we're picking up. But then that'll be the last training until they increase the level cap. So then I should be able to stack up gold. Or, well, it won't be just stacking up gold, because there's other stuff that that I still need to buy. Like I want to get the Ashen Veil mount, it's 10 gold. Plus there's, unless I'm able to get some pretty decent stuff somewhere else, I think some of the PvP gear I'm going to need to buy as well. Because like at this level, double clams. At this level, like rings and amulets are hard to come by. So the only option might be like the PvP stuff. You are ineligible for this quest. I've got some kind of killing skeleton quest. Oh! I'm gonna get Turn Undead because then I'll be able to get this rune. I'll be able to equip this. Slay them with Exorcism. But then if I wanted to, I could actually just like drop the Rebuke rune and have an extra ability. But man, 85 mana. So one of the things that I just realized is this cost is still exactly the same, but my mana went up. I guess it's based on base mana. It's a percentage of base mana. So it doesn't count, like base, doesn't count what you gain from leveling up, I guess. So if that's true, the higher level you are, the better... Yeah, the better you should be on mana. So maybe it's just not a concern at all.
You need something? Safe travel.
Alright, Stormwind we go. I'm almost totally out of drinks. Oh, and Batty Dog needs to go outside. I'll be right back. One of the things that I would have never known about live streaming until I actually did it was how thirsty you get. Like, I feel like I talk all the time anyway. But, you know, obviously, when I'm streaming, I try to be talking and whatnot. I try to be as entertaining as I can. I do the best I can, alright? Before I start facing criticisms. But anyway. And I tend to drink a lot. I drink a lot of liquids. A lot of water. I drink a lot of coffee. But anyway, man. After like an hour, it's like I'm just constantly thirsty. So like right now, I've been live for 3 hours. And I think to myself, man, how in the world do these people... I mean, you see guys that are doing like 24-hour streams and 48-hour streams and stuff. Like, that is insane. It has to be so bad for your body. Even just to sit down for that long. Like, fortunately, the people that are doing it are young, but it's not good to stay in one place like that for that long. Just be sitting there. But I guess, you know, I guess you build up to it. So, like, you know, I'm talking about people that are, like, streaming as their career. So they're live, you know, 6-8 hours most of the days of the week anyway. So I guess you get used to it. But it's just one of those things I never would have thought about, man. You just get so thirsty. Surely it's not just me. It's also can at some times be potentially tiring. Like, I remember the first time I streamed, man, I got done and I was just wiped. I'm like, you gotta be kidding, I wasn't doing anything.
What can I do for you?
Oh no, my precious coin. Alright, so there's the turn undead that I need. Blessing of Protection and Hammer of Justice.
For the Alliance.
So now, one of the things that I've noticed is you have to actually replace this stuff on your bar. Get this down here just for the quest. So it's like, it's still rank 1 here, but it's rank 2 in my spellbook. So if you don't replace it, you end up using a significantly lower level than what you have. Rank 2, Hammer of Justice. To be replaced. Blessing of Protection. Rank 2. I'm gonna double check some of these that I already had. Stater. Alright, those are all good. Did that. That did that. And Righteous, Redemption. It's to be replaced. Whoop! And what goes out must come in. I gotta let Matty Dog back in. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're fully trained for Season of Discovery. We've got all of our abilities, the highest level that we can have them on the bar. Still need to hit level 25, and then I've got to get... So the only rune that I'm missing for the spec that I want to play is Divine Storm, which I think I'm still going to have to hit level 25 before I can even try it. Because you have to kill like level 29 and level 30 mobs. And even if you're in a group to help you do it, if you're too low level, you just can't deal damage. But basically, you're like dead weight for the group. Which might even lead to having a hard time finding a group. But since I have this, I'm going to go ahead and do it. just in case I want it. I've actually got the runes to go protection if I wanted to, but I don't really like the idea of, you know, I wanted to play Ret Paladin, so I think I want to stick with it rather than switch to something else. So I need to do that. Still got a long way to go on professions. I haven't even picked up, like, primary professions yet. Oh, I do have first aid.
Well met.
I thought I didn't even have it.
Go with honor, friend.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm probably going to do some fishing, even though fishing is just as boring in WoW as it is in real life. And then I need to decide primary skills, which might actually just be blacksmithing and mining. And then once I'm 25, it's just going to be about getting together whatever gear I need to actually get into the raid. I know some of it's going to be PvP gear, so I might have to PvP a little bit. Some of it's going to be like quest gear. And then, of course, some of it's going to be running dungeons. I don't think you need like full pre-raid best in slot, though. Basically, you need just enough for somebody to allow you in their group. And then don't die to mechanics and it should be fine. Should actually be more than fine. The other good thing about the level 25 level cap is it kind of gives everybody a plateau to catch up to. And then like the next phase comes out and you go up to the next level cap. But like you're going to get a full amount of rested XP as long as you're logging out in a city or an inn. So that'll make the leveling a little bit easier for that next the next phase. It gives you time to get all your profession. Like basically you get everything done up to that level and then you're just waiting for the next phase to come out. So it's not like you're having to level all the way to 60 and then start your professions from scratch. Because I've kind of been approaching it as I'm going to hit max level and then I'm going to go back and work on all this other stuff. Which hasn't been totally true. Like I'm getting runes as I go and things like that, but I don't mind getting to max level and then coming back and do that stuff, I guess maybe is the way to put it. I'm going to miss... Well, I may actually just have to use Blessing of Wisdom once I have Divine Storm, and just not have the attack power buff. Which isn't really, like, what I want to do. But I think it's kind of going to be one of those situations of that's what I have to do. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up needing to drink all the time. Which, as I've mentioned, is not really all that fun. Right, supposedly... Actually, I probably want, like, lower level stuff anyway. I'm looking for undead, so I need to kill the cooldown. 30-second cooldown. What does it do? Compelled to flee. And you have to get the finishing blow with Exorcism. While they're affected by this? Let's find out. And slaying them with Exorcism. So I'm going to be, like, taking a beating while I'm attempting to cast. So yeah, I definitely want, like, easier to kill mobs. I think I gotta get one more auto attack and just hope it's not a crit. Easy! So I gotta do that 4 more times. And then, honestly, I might just go ahead and equip it rather than the Interrupt. The Interrupt has not been very impressive. And I'm not sure, like, if you're gonna run a raid, maybe you need the Interrupt. But I'm not sure about that either. No! It didn't hit hard enough to kill him, so I don't get credit. Yeah, this is going to be... I mean, it's not bad. You only have to do it 5 times. It is going to be a little bit annoying to complete this, though. Because you're basically having to guess... Can you show... on enemy nameplates... how much health they have? I kind of thought you could. Enemy nameplates. Something that I can check. Here we go. No, that doesn't work. I want to be able to see how much health the enemies have. It's got to be in here somewhere, right? Display. Minimap. Aggro. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. I feel like there should be a way to be able to see how much health the enemies have. Because otherwise it's going to be hard to know exactly when this is going to kill them. Thanks for the chit-chat, gotta go. See you next time. Cax, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Good luck out there in Hearthstone, too.
Not ready yet.
Wait, surely this gets him. Dude, look at this, man. I can't see how much health they have. But he was kind of at a point where he was going to die anyway. From the next auto attack. Now this is on cooldown. Alright. Just don't want him to die. Dude, he auto-attacked while I was casting an ability. I turned my back so that it wouldn't auto-attack and kill it. And then I turned to cast the ability and it auto-attacked while casting. It's like the only time it'll do that is the time that I don't want it to. Alright, here we go. 2. Yeah, this one is slightly annoying. Some of them are tedious. Some of them are challenging. This particular rune, I would describe as annoying. Because, like, I get a crit and this guy just dies. I have to set him to low health. There's 3. Also waiting for the cooldown. isn't really great either. So again, I'm going to end up like turning my back. I gotta hit him one more time. Guess I didn't need to hit him one more time. Alright. Come on, man. He's at like 1 health. He can't even see the health bar and it didn't die. So I don't get credit. 3! That's exactly what I mean when I say annoying. I just gotta waste time because this is still on cooldown. Man, that is... Speaking of annoying, the sound effect on Exorcism is really bad, man. Like, typically I love the sounds in Blizzard games. And I think I probably like all the rest of the sound. Or at least it's fine, but that sound is bad. Like, that's just annoying. Alright, so that's the quest. And again, I don't think the interrupt is all that useful, so at least for now, I'm going to replace it. It goes on legs, right? Yep, it goes on legs. Cast on any target, 100% crit chance against undead and demons. Still expensive though, man. Couldn't it come with like a mana reduction? Hit for 150. With the maybe with the Blessing of Wisdom rank 3 now, I'm actually going to have enough mana that I can use this as part of my rotation. It's a 15-second cooldown, so I think in a lot of these fights while questing, I'm only going to get to use it one time. I don't even want that on the bar. I'm only going to get to use it one time anyway. So hopefully it's going to be fine. Alright, so I guess I'm going to want to get back over here to work on that. Man, we'll be rounding out 25 soon. We'll start to get down to like the fun part of the game once the leveling is over. But I do believe that's actually going to do it for today's stream. Appreciate everybody coming by and watching and the conversations. It's always nice. Thank you so much for being here. I know there's literally anywhere else in the world that you could be, especially considering that we are on the internet, so thank you so much for that. I'm Uncorrupt, and hopefully I'll see you next time. And we've now entered the awkward part of the